Welcome back today. In this video, we're diving into the fascinating world of British coinage to explore the top 5 most valuable United Kingdom 1 shilling coins. These coins, minted across different years and conditions, can fetch impressive prices at auction, especially rare varieties and unique mint marks. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about hidden treasures in old change, you'll enjoy this countdown. Let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling coin from 1951. This coin, while common to some eyes, carries a piece of post-war British history and can surprise collectors with its charm, rarity in certain conditions, and market value. If you've ever wondered what makes this coin special and how much it can fetch in the auction market today, then stick around as we explore its background, unique features, rarity, and real-world value in fine condition. The 1951 1 shilling coin belongs to the pre-decimal currency system of the United Kingdom. Before decimalisation in 1971, the shilling was an important denomination, valued at 1/20th of a pound, or 12 pence in the old money system. In 1951, King George VI was on the throne, and Britain was still recovering from the Second World War. Coins minted during this period often reflected the resilience of the nation, and shillings were used extensively in daily trade. They were struck in cupronickel, as silver had been phased out of shillings after 1946, making the 1951 issue one of the early all-cupronickel series coins. The 1 shilling 1951 coin has two distinct designs, one representing England and the other representing Scotland. The English reverse features a crowned lion standing on a crown, while the Scottish reverse shows a lion rampant within a shield, topped with a crown. Both designs proudly reflect the unity of the UK's nations. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of King George VI facing left, with a Latin inscription around the edge translating to George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, defender of the faith. The coin has a diameter of 23.5 millimeters and a weight of about 5.65 grams, with a milled edge. Although millions of 1 shilling coins were struck in 1951, their value depends heavily on condition. Circulated and damaged examples are relatively common, often found in bulk lots or old family collections. However, coins in fine or better condition are increasingly sought after because they have survived decades of circulation without heavy wear. Collectors often seek both the English and Scottish reverse designs to complete their sets, which boosts demand. Even damaged coins are still collected for historical purposes or to fill gaps in collections, though they command much lower prices. In today's coin market, a 1951 1 shilling in fine condition is typically valued between $334,000, depending on whether it is the English or Scottish design. Coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition can reach higher prices, sometimes up to $114,000 at auctions or from specialist dealers. Damaged or heavily worn coins usually sell for around face value in the collector's market, about $1 or less. However, because collectors often prefer to own both varieties, having a matched pair can slightly increase the combined value. If you are considering collecting the 1951 1 shilling, pay attention to condition above all else. Look for clear details on the portrait of King George VI and sharpness in the lion designs. Always handle coins carefully, preferably by the edges, to avoid further wear or fingerprints. Storing them in protective holders will help preserve their value. For long-term collectors, building a full set of shillings across different monarchs and years can be both rewarding and profitable. And of course, keep an eye on auctions and dealers, where bargains can still be found. The 1951 1 shilling may not be the rarest coin in the British series, but its historical significance, two distinctive reverse designs, and collectability make it a wonderful addition to any coin collection. In fine condition, it carries modest but real value in the coin market, often trading for a few dollars, proof that even small denominations can hold big stories. Whether you're new to coin collecting or an experienced numismatist, the 1951 shilling is a reminder of Britain's past and a charming piece of pre-decimal currency worth owning. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling from 1956, particularly in circulated fine condition. While it may not be the rarest coin in the British monetary history, it still carries historical significance, collector interest, and market value. In this video, we'll explore its background, unique design, rarity, collector demand, and most importantly, its current auction value in US dollars. So, let's begin. The 1 shilling coin was a vital part of the pre-decimal currency system in the United Kingdom. Before decimalisation in 1971, the shilling was equivalent to 12 pence, and 20 shillings made up £1. The 1956 shilling was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who had just ascended the throne in 1952. This makes the 1956 issue one of the early coins minted under her reign, adding a layer of historical interest for collectors. The coin was struck in cupronickel, replacing the silver issues that had been discontinued after 1946. The 1956 1 shilling coin is known for its detailed design. On the obverse, you'll find the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Mary Gillick. This youthful portrait shows the Queen wearing a laurel wreath, a symbol of victory and honour. The reverse design depended on the region. There were two versions of the shilling, one bearing the English crest of a lion standing on a crown, and another with the Scottish crest of a crowned lion rampant. This dual design system is an interesting feature unique to British shillings of the period. The coin weighs 5.65 grams, measures 23.6 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge, all consistent with shillings of the mid-20th century. Now let's talk about rarity. The 1956 1 shilling is not among the scarcest British coins, as it was minted in large numbers for circulation. However, because these coins were heavily used in everyday trade, finding them in pristine, uncirculated condition is far less common today. In circulated fine condition, the coin remains collectible, though its demand largely comes from beginner collectors, history enthusiasts, or those assembling date runs of Queen Elizabeth II's coinage. Even in damaged or worn condition, it still holds nostalgic value and can fetch some interest at coin fairs or small auctions. So, what is the 1956 1 shilling worth today? In circulated fine condition, the coin generally sells for about $425,000 in the United States market. If the coin is in very good or extremely fine condition, values may rise closer to $216,000. In uncirculated condition with strong eye appeal, some examples have been sold at auction for $20 or more. But for a circulated fine condition piece, the realistic market value hovers in the lower dollar range, making it more affordable for entry-level collectors. If you're interested in adding the 1956 1 shilling to your collection, here are some tips. First, pay close attention to the type, whether it's the English crest or the Scottish crest, as some collectors prefer to collect both variations. Second, condition is key. Even a small jump from fine to very fine condition can make a noticeable difference in value. Third, look for bulk deals at auctions or online marketplaces, where you may find better prices. Lastly, always buy from reputable dealers to avoid counterfeits, though luckily, shillings of this era are not heavily forged. In conclusion, the 1956 United Kingdom 1 shilling in circulated fine condition is not an incredibly rare or high-value coin, but it still holds charm, history, and collector appeal. Its design, dual variations, and connection to Queen Elizabeth II's early reign make it a piece worth keeping in any British coin collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling from 1953. This coin, though often overlooked, carries both historical and collectible importance. We'll cover its background, unique design, rarity, demand in various conditions, and of course, its market value in US dollars. If you're a collector or simply curious about the worth of old coins, stick with me until the end for some useful tips. The year 1953 was a historic one for the United Kingdom, as it marked the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. With the beginning of her reign, a completely new coinage series was introduced to replace the coins bearing the image of her father, King George VI. The 1953 1 shilling was part of this first portrait series of Queen Elizabeth II. At the time, the shilling was equal to 12 pence, and it played a crucial role in everyday transactions. However, by 1971, when decimalisation was introduced, the shilling was withdrawn from circulation, making coins like the 1953 shilling an important piece of pre-decimal history. The 1953 1 shilling exists in two main varieties, the English crest and the Scottish crest. The English version features a crowned lion standing on the crown, while the Scottish version displays a crowned lion rampant within a shield. Both varieties bear the youthful first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Mary Gillick. Struck in cupronickel, the coin weighs around 5.65 grams and measures 23.6 millimeters in diameter. These distinctive features not only highlight the artistry of mid-20th century British coinage, but also allow collectors to identify and differentiate between the two types. When it comes to rarity, the 1953 1 shilling is not considered one of the scarcest coins, as millions were minted to commemorate the Queen's coronation. However, the demand among collectors remains steady because it represents the first year of Queen Elizabeth II's coinage. Even in damaged or heavily circulated condition, many collectors are willing to add this coin to their collection for its historical connection. While pristine examples are naturally preferred, lower grade or damaged coins still find buyers, particularly those who focus on type collections or those just starting in coin collecting. Now let's talk about money. What is the 1953 1 shilling actually worth today? In fine condition, this coin typically sells for around $631,000 on the collector's market. If you have a better preserved coin in very fine or extremely fine condition, the value may rise to $221,000. High-grade uncirculated examples, particularly those with attractive toning, can reach $113,000 at auction. For coins in damaged or poor condition, the value often drops to about $1 or less, but as mentioned, they can still attract interest due to the historical significance of the coronation year. If you're interested in collecting the 1953 1 shilling, here are some tips. First, pay attention to which crest variety you have, the English or the Scottish, as some collectors aim to collect both. Secondly, look closely at the condition of the coin. Fine condition coins are common, but if you can find sharp details and minimal wear, the coin becomes more desirable. Lastly, try to purchase from reputable dealers or auction houses to avoid cleaned or counterfeit pieces. While the 1953 shilling is not rare, finding a truly high-grade example is always rewarding for a serious collector. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 1 shilling of 1953 is a coin that combines history, artistry, and collectability. While it may not be extremely rare, its significance as the first year of Queen Elizabeth II's reign makes it an important piece for any British coin collection. In fine condition, it holds a modest value of just a few dollars, but the story behind it is priceless. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling coin from 1947. This coin holds a special place in history because it marked a major shift in British currency. We'll explore its history, design, rarity, and even discuss how much it is worth today in the auction market, particularly in circulation condition. If you're a coin collector or just love learning about old money, this video is for you. The year 1947 was an important one for British coinage. After World War II, Britain faced huge economic challenges, and silver was desperately needed for trade and recovery. As a result, the government made a decision to stop using real silver in everyday coinage. Starting in 1947, all shillings, florins, and half-crowns were struck in cupronickel instead of sterling silver. This makes the 1947 1 shilling historically significant, as it was the very first year the coin was produced without any silver content. King George VI was on the throne at this time, and his portrait is proudly displayed on the obverse. The 1 shilling 1947 was issued in two different designs, one representing England and the other representing Scotland. The English version features a crowned lion standing on the royal crown, while the Scottish version shows a rampant lion within a crowned shield. Both designs symbolize strength and national pride. On the obverse, the coin features the effigy of King George VI, with the Latin inscription around his portrait. Made from cupronickel, the coin measures 23.5 millimeters in diameter and weighs 5.65 grams. Its durability means many examples survived in circulation for decades. Because millions of these coins were minted, the 1947 1 shilling is not considered rare in general. However, condition plays a huge role in its desirability among collectors. Circulated and damaged examples are quite common, but they still hold historical appeal as the first non-silver issue. Collectors may seek them to complete sets of George VI coinage or to represent the transition away from silver coinage. Even in worn or damaged condition, these coins are valued for their historical story rather than their scarcity. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know: the value. A 1947 1 shilling in circulation condition typically sells in the range of $532,000 at auction or through online coin marketplaces. Coins in heavily damaged or corroded condition may be worth closer to just $1, while those in finer circulated grades can edge toward the higher end of that spectrum. Uncirculated examples or those with brilliant surfaces may command higher prices, but for circulation condition, the value stays modest due to the high mintage. If you're interested in collecting the 1947 1 shilling, my advice is to focus on eye appeal. Even though circulated examples are easy to find, picking a coin with less wear, fewer scratches, and better detail will make your collection stand out. It's also fun to collect both the English and Scottish designs from this year, as together they tell a more complete story of the coinage. Always store your coins properly to prevent further damage, and if you're buying, make sure to check authenticity and compare with market prices. Oh, there you have it, the United Kingdom 1 shilling from 1947, a coin that represents both the end of silver in British currency and the resilience of a nation recovering from war. While it may not make you rich, it carries a rich history and remains a meaningful addition to any coin collection. Whether you have one in circulation condition or are looking to acquire one, this coin is a great conversation piece and a reminder of Britain's post-war era. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling from the year 1954. While at first glance it may appear as just another post-war coin, the 1954 shilling has a unique charm and carries historical importance. In this video, we'll explore its background, its design features, the rarity and collector demand, and most importantly, its current auction market value in dollars. If you own one of these coins or are considering adding one to your collection, you'll want to stick around until the very end. The 1 shilling coin was a vital part of British currency, circulating widely until decimalisation in 1971. The 1954 issue falls under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who had only recently ascended the throne in 1952. This makes the coin part of the early Elizabethan series, which carries additional historical significance. These coins were produced in cupronickel, as silver had already been removed from circulation coins after 1946. The 1954 shilling represents Britain's transition into a new monarch's era while maintaining traditional coinage designs that have been cherished for decades. The 1954 1 shilling comes in two main types: the English crest design featuring the lion standing atop a crown, and the Scottish design showcasing the rampant lion within a shield. Both types bear the inscription FID Def, short for Fide Defensor, meaning Defender of the Faith, along with 1 shilling and the date. On the obverse, we find the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This early effigy is particularly beloved by collectors due to its simple yet elegant profile of the young queen, free from later decorative elements such as tiaras or necklaces. The coin measures 23.5 mm in diameter and weighs about 5.65 grams, making it a sturdy mid-sized coin of its era. Now let's talk rarity. The 1954 1 shilling is not an extremely rare coin in general, but in fine condition it holds decent collector interest. Millions were minted, which means that circulated examples are fairly common. However, the real point of interest is that many of these coins were heavily used, often turning up in worn, scratched, or damaged condition. While collectors usually prefer high-grade examples, even damaged coins can still attract attention, especially for beginners building a starter collection. Damaged or heavily circulated 1954 shillings usually serve as affordable entry points for new collectors, making them an accessible way to own a piece of mid-20th century British history. When it comes to value, condition plays the biggest role. A 1954 1 shilling in heavily circulated or damaged condition often sells for as little as $635,000. In fine condition, which means some wear but still with clear details, you can expect values to rise slightly, often in the range of $214,000. Coins in very fine or extremely fine condition may fetch between $126,000, while uncirculated examples can sometimes reach $25 or more at auction. However, it's important to note that prices fluctuate depending on demand, specific coin type, whether English or Scottish, and the collector's market trends. For collectors interested in the 1954 1 shilling, a few tips can help. First, always check the obverse for clarity of the Queen's portrait, as wear on the facial features significantly impacts value. Second, pay attention to the reverse design, whether English or Scottish, as some collectors prefer one over the other, which can affect demand. Third, if you're starting with damaged or worn examples, don't worry, these coins still have historical charm and can serve as placeholders until you upgrade to higher grade pieces. Finally, consider purchasing from reputable dealers or auction houses to ensure authenticity and avoid counterfeits, which can occasionally appear in the market. In conclusion, the 1954 United Kingdom 1 shilling may not be the rarest coin in British numismatics, but it certainly carries historical value and nostalgic appeal. With its early Queen Elizabeth II portrait and dual design variations, it's a must-have for anyone interested in mid-20th century British coinage. While damaged examples remain affordable, coins in fine and above conditions can bring in higher auction values, making them worthwhile for both casual collectors and serious investors. Whether you're just beginning your coin collecting journey or adding depth to your existing collection, the 1954 shilling offers a fascinating glimpse into Britain's rich numismatic heritage. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the world of coins and collectibles.